Namaste and welcome. It is Rishi here from meditatewithrishi.com. And in today's video, I want to share with you the 3 benefits of Om chanting, the 3 mental benefits of Om chanting. Now, if you watch my videos, you'll know that this is a topic that is very, very close to my heart because I actually attribute Om chanting and meditation for helping me overcome childhood trauma, for beating an addiction to drugs and alcohol, and actually giving me the confidence to take a leap of faith, quit my 9 to 5 and start a business. Okay, so it is a really, really, really powerful practice. But what I want to do today is give you, a bit of the science behind why it works, so that it makes more sense to you. You have the confidence as well. Instead of just looking at it as a spiritual or religious practice. And yeah, on that, it's not, again, Om chanting is not a religious practice. It's got nothing to do with religion. Om, essentially, the seed vibration of the universe, predates all religion. So if you haven't already, if you're new to this, go and watch my videos called What is Om? Okay, and then How to Chant Om, parts 1 and part 2. They are on, you can find them at meditatewithrishi.com. So yeah, go and do that if you haven't done that already, okay? So let's get to it. What are the 3 mental benefits of Om chanting? Now, the first one is, I think, the most important because it leads to the other 2. The first one is that it deactivates the stress centers in your brain. Now, I'm going to try and explain this as simply as possible. I actually did a video before this where I was going into too much detail on the science and the neuroscience, so I don't want to bore you with that, okay? What we need to essentially be concerned with is it deactivates the stress centers in our brain. Now, what does this mean, right? So if you look at how we live today, stress, I don't need to tell you, is one of the biggest problems in the world today. Stress, anxiety, depression, right? And the very sad thing is that, when we look deeper into stress, it's actually a response from our body, okay? And it's a response, a fight or flight response, essentially, which is designed to save us from a life-threatening situation. And it comes from evolution. Back when we used to live in the wild and, if a lion was chasing you, you needed to be able to essentially act quickly, fight or flight to save yourself, right? But the problem is that our body doesn't know the difference between that and the problems that we have today, which are not life-threatening in the moment. So common sources of stress, for example, are not being able to pay your bills, or stress at work, targets, deadlines, family issues, all these things, right? They are problems, but they are not life-threatening in the moment. Yes, yet our body responds in this way, okay? And the reason it responds in this way is that essentially all you need to know is that the process that happens, the mental process that happens, it can lead to one of 2 responses, right? So our nervous system is made up of the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, okay? Now, the sympathetic nervous system is what triggers a fight or flight response. And this essentially causes the things that cause stress: increased, rate of breathing, increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, right? Whereas the parasympathetic nervous system does the opposite. This essentially is the signal telling our body to chillax, to just relax and chill and calm down, because you're not going to die right now, okay? It's not the end of the world. You can deal with this in a calm, cool, confident manner, okay? So these are the 2 responses available. Through the sympathetic and parasympathetic, you can either have the fight or flight response or the chillax version, okay? Now, the problem is that because of the way we're wired, automatically the parts of our brain, the amygdala, for example, that get stimulated, they lead to this fight or flight response. That is kind of our default, okay? And that is a problem. That is a real problem, because that stresses you out and gives you all the mental, physical health problems associated with that in the short and long term, okay? So what Om chanting does is it deactivates that part of the brain, essentially, that part of the brain. And in doing so, it means that you stop reacting in that way. You stop reacting in a stressful way to situations that come up, okay? So that is the benefit number one, okay? Now, benefit number two is, alongside deactivating that, it actually strengthens the parts of the brain that make you deal with things in a really chilled, relaxed manner, okay? The parasympathetic nervous system, it actually strengthens this. It gives the power back to the parasympathetic nervous system. And this means that your default response actually becomes one of acting in a cool, calm, composed, confident manner. And that is beautiful because, you know, think about this. You've heard the saying, the problem is never the problem. How we react to the problem is the problem. So whether you're in immense financial debt or your partner just left you, sorry, I'm giving bad examples, extreme examples here. But if your default, response to these is that you're going to be calm and cool, come on, what is going to stress you out, right? We need to shift. We need to shift from, this talk of, managing stress, managing depression and treating stress, treating depression with all the medication and no, why? Why should we manage something? Why not prevent it? Om chanting is a practice which can help you actually prevent it by changing the default response in your body. And trust me, I'm telling you this from experience. I'm somebody who's faced, incredible childhood trauma in terms of the violence that, I saw. And then, for 5 years, I went through an addiction to drugs and alcohol. And Om chanting, was able to pull me out from that and, show me the light, give me a lot of positivity in my life, okay? So I'm telling you from experience, in the humblest way possible, this is really powerful, okay? So benefit number one, it deactivates the stress centers in your brain. Number two, it strengthens the parasympathetic nervous system. It actually gives the power back to it to, respond to situations in a way that are favorable to your mental, physical, and spiritual health, okay? And number three, the benefit number three is what I like to call the 3 C's, okay? It gives you an increase of concentration, clarity, and confidence. Now, make of that what you will, okay? Because you know what increased concentration can do for you. You know what more clarity can do for you. You know what more confidence can do for you, I'll just share with you one thing it's done for me, right? So when I quit my job last year, I was in a position where, I'd been trying to quit for quite some time actually, and I'd actually saved up a financial buffer for about 6 months twice, and things happened and I lost that money. And I was like, I don't have the patience anymore. I just want to go and do what I want to do. So by then, I practiced, Om chanting and meditation for quite some time, and it gave me the confidence to just tell the universe, if my intentions are pure, you are going to take care of me. And I quit, okay? And we're about a year down, and, here I am doing these videos. So, things worked out, okay? Could they have gone the other way or not so good? Of course it could have, right? But the point is, having that kind of faith and conviction, for me was not possible without the Om chanting and the meditation. And, for you as well, building your relationship with the universe, building your trust and your faith and your confidence that, things will turn out to be positive and will work out. Because it's our belief that makes it. It's nothing else. It's our belief that makes it, okay? This is what Om chanting can do for you. And I'll go more depth into this in the next videos I'm going to do. But in a nutshell, to summarize, the mental health benefits of Om chanting is, number one, it deactivates the stress centers in your brain. Number two, it gives the power back to the parasympathetic nervous system, which means that your chillax response becomes your default response, okay? And number three, it gives you more concentration, more clarity, and more confidence. So you know, if you haven't already, I encourage you to try it out. And the benefits will not come in a day, okay? But they will come. And when they come, they will come with such magnitude that your life will change forever, okay? And trust me on that, okay? So this is really, really powerful. All right, that is all I wanted to say in today's video. Now, I'll end by saying that if you want to try out Om chanting, as I said, I've done a couple of videos on how to chant Om, so you're free to do that. I actually run weekly meditations on Om and Om chanting. So Wednesday I do Yoga Nidra, okay, and Saturday is when I'll do an Om meditation. So if you're interested in joining an online class, head over to meditatewithrishi.com. Have a look at the times, the weekly, the drop-in classes. If you can't make that time, no problem. I've got a monthly pass or a monthly membership that gives you access to all the recordings so that you can essentially plug and play at your own time, at your own convenience. And that is it. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.